Welcome to 3-week workshop on programming in C++. So in this video, I'm going to explain the concept of STL, that is called Standard Template Library in C++. So I think if you know that if you are studying different kind of languages, we must to know some of what are the predefined functions we have. So this STL is a very important features in C++. So normally this STL is very useful. So it provide means it contains the collection of predefined classes with the help of templates. So we know that we already discussed the concept of template. It provides a concept of generic data type, means generic supports. So that in STL there are three general classifications. That means it contains three well-structured components. One is a containers. We know the containers for storing information. Next one, algorithm for extracting the values from the container. Means that we are going to perform different kind of operation. And third one is for iterators. Iterators means we are going to accessing the content of your containers. So there are three well-structured components we have. So STL is called as a standard template library. So that it contains a collection of predefined classes and methods. So normally these classes and methods support the concept generic type. So that whenever you are going to create an object, we must to define the data type of your objects. And there are three different type of components we have. One is a containers, algorithms, and third one is iterators. So first of all, I'm going to talk about what is algorithm. So we know that there are different kind of basic functionalities we have to perform an operation. The first of all, I'm going to discuss about sorting method. So let us to assume that I'm going to create an array. It may be a compile time error or maybe runtime. That is on our choice. So just the array is creator. So normally it's just I'm going to call the method sort method. So that the initial address, and we must to know up to how much. I mean that you must to know that the length of your array. So better we can say that just you can count how many number of elements we have. That is a best choice. So that here 4, 5, 6 element is there. So that you can give 6. So that up to it takes a 6 element in the list and to perform a sorting. But actually, if you are compiled, surely it makes an error message because for compiling this template, we must support a corresponding algorithm. So normally it will be supporting by using hash include. There is a name of the file as algorithm. This is the preprocessor statement to support it, and also here we need to support for namespace. So now just I'm going to compile. And just waiting for an error means there is no error. So that means that now the program supported that namespace, means a standard template library. Just I am going to print the value of an array. So just I am going to find I less than 6, I plus plus. So then I am going to print it. So just I am going to declare the variable I. So here the starting from the element, the list of elements will be started from this starting address to 6. That means that up to A of 5. That means it takes a value up to A of 0 to A of 5 and the list of element is started. So now the list of element is started. For example, I don't want to start all the elements. I want to start only the first 3 elements. So we know that the index start from 0. So 0, 1 and 2. So you consider the index 0 index, first index and second index. Now you can compile. So see that just only the means that there is a small corrections here. That is sorry. It takes only that means the first 2 elements and to perform a sorting. So here I'm just put a 2. So here I'm putting a 6. That means the 6 element in the list will be a small correction. So here it not work with the index. So it will work with the number of elements. So if I'm going to say it is 3, it takes only the first 3 elements and to perform a sorting, and the remaining elements will not be considered, it will be retained on the same position. Now you can see that 2, 3, 10, then 56, 78, 12 will not be affected. It will affect only the last 3 first 3 elements. Okay, for example, I want to start only the last 3 elements. Means I'm going to start, just we can check it, I'm going to check it 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6, so that it will consider the 4 elements. So that there is no changes on first 2 elements, and that remaining 4 elements will be getting started. So this is the way we are applying the concept of sharding algorithm to perform it. So now I think you know how to apply this sharding algorithm, so that you must know what is the, because array is a reference location, so that we must know what is the starting address and ending address once if you want to perform a shard. And the next one is a binary search. We know that the sorting and searching is a very, very important operations in computer science application. So that just if you are applying for binary search, so there is an operation is called the binary search. So I'm going to search if, so binary underscore search. I need to define from where the searching need to start, up to which element we need to, I mean, up to which index we want, number of elements we want to search, and what is my search element. For example, my search element is 78. So normally the search element return exists, it returns a 1. I always return the element of the last address, so that the last address always null. So that here it won't accept. So see out, so that we can say that element exists. So else see out element not exist. So these are some predefined algorithm we have, so that by using this STL, just we can perform all the operations. See that the element exists. So then it will be displayed as usual, because I didn't perform any sharding and all, so element exists. So for example, I'm going to say 780. So the element is not exist. So just to see the difference, and just I'm going to run it. So if it is a 78, it is a exist. So it regards, sorry, small correction here. It shows that the element is not exist. Just a minute, I can check it now. I think I have some trouble here now. Right, shows that the element is not exist. So just a minute, I can check it here. So binary search. I'm going to search in the A plus up to 6, first 6 element. The search element is 78. I'm going to just display the value of C. Just I'm going to hide this. I can do it later part. So just I'm going to compile. So it returns a 0. So if it is a 780, so I'm going to compile. Still it is a 0. I think. So what is the syntax? What there is a binary starting address, ending address. It is a search value. So that is a syntax. So I hope just a minute I can check for some other value. And I'm going to compile. So just a minute I can try like this. Binary search, yes, this is search like this. I think before that we need to perform a shorting. Just a minute, I can short an array because it is a binary search. Yeah, sorry. Small correction here. Sorry, I think I did a mistake. So actually for a binary search, that expected, sorry. We put a semicolon here. So actually, means if you are applying a binary search, I hope that we need to perform a shorting and then it will perform. Yeah, yes. So we need to perform a shorting. Then after that only we need to work. For example, I'm going to give 78. Yeah, it will show it's correctly. I'm going to, it's a 780. Just a minute, I can give 780. So means the element which is not existed here. So actually, normally if you are going to implement a searching, I thought it is that elements are normally it's inbuilt. So the starting method is inbuilt. It's not like that. So that so that if you want to perform a binary search, we need to perform a sharding before apply. So clear. So that we know that if you are applying the binary search, we need to sort the list of elements. Generally, the concept of binary search is applicable to search. Oh, yeah, it's now we have to search it so that it shows that the element exists, and for it is for not exist to number, and it shows that this element is not exist. Yeah, small correction here, please note it down. So if you want to apply the concept of a binary search, the first of all we must to apply the sharding, then we have to apply for a binary search. Okay, so the next one is reverse. Reverse also the same thing. So a comma a plus, that means that how much element you want to perform a reverse. So like that we can find the reverse of elements, so that automatically the entire list of elements will be reversed. But actually here it is sorted so that that entire element in descending orders. So this is the way we have to apply the some different kind of an algorithm. And also if you want to find the maximum numbers in the list, then simply we can find the list. We can simply to calculate like this. So maximum number equal to. So always we need to know about that. That is how to say that we need to indicate the address so that it works based on the address only, because it returns only the address. So that in that address we need to identify what is the value. Sorry, max element, not is number. So that is a max element. So max element is a function to identify what is the maximum number in the given range. So normally it will return the address, so that we are using a star to print the value of this maximum element. So that max element normally to print the value of, that means always to return the address, so that we need to identify what is the value in that address. So minimum number equal to, so if you want to find the minimum number, so we can use the function is called as a minimum number. It is also a function, so that it is a function name is a minimum element. So we need to identify the, means that we need to specify the address in which up to which address we need to define. So even if you want only the small part of the array you want to consider, you have to define the number of arguments. So based on that, for example, I want to find only the minimum number in the last 4 numbers for index 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we can give a plus 3, 6. So the based on that it will work. So, but even though it's not, it work, it will for taking. I think I didn't say it correctly. So just a minute, I can check it. So that the minimum number it shows that it is 3. Okay, I'm going to say only 2. I think the starting address and the ending address is important, so that yeah, see that it consider only that a comma a plus 2. So sorry, if I given like that, it returns the second maximum number, minimum number. Okay, so this is the way we need to process that some of the basic functions in algorithms, and also there is a method is called as a count. So count is a method to identify that how many number of the particular element which is present in that particular array. So same way there is a function is called as a find for searching, and there is a function is also have a that is called erase. Erase also we have to call by using starting address, ending address, and also by using value. So with the help of that we can able to calculate. So these are the some different kind of algorithms we have to work on containers. Okay, now move on to this container. So container means that it is a collection of objects. Normally you can able to store the data. So that there are different type of containers we have. One is called a sequence container. The second one is called as container adapters, and third one associative containers, and fourth one is called unordered associatives. Unordered associative container. Okay, so the first one is a sequence container. It means we mean that the values will means that it will be stored in sequence manner, either maybe a contiguous way or in a non-contiguous way by using connecting with the pointers. Okay, so the first one is we are going to arrange, so that the contiguous sequence container. So in that the elements will be stored in continuous manner only, so that it will be only on contiguous memory, like as an array. But actually here, so first one is called as a vector. So vector is one of the sequence container, so which is used to store the element in a, it is like as an array, but it's the size of the array is dynamic. So normally the values will be stored only on contiguous memory, so that if you want to include this vector inside of your program, so we have to include a header file as vector. So now it's okay, just I'm going to remove all the logics. So I'm going to include a vector in order to process it. So just a vector. So that first of all, I need to create a vector here. So vector is a predefined class. Then I told that initially I told that it is a template, so that we need to define what is the data type it will be processed. Then it is an object. Then if you want, we can define it. Or otherwise, so now it is a definer. So that now there is a size of array is 0. I think maybe in Java, somebody heard about array list. This is vector is similar to this array list in C++. So normally, so if you want, means these are the sum of here listed only this few functions to work on this sequence container. So the one is size maximum. Size means that it returns what is the size of your vector. So for example, I'm going to display what is my size of the vector. So v dot size. So these are our member functions, so that we need to invoke by using that object. So slash so size of the vector. So initially there is no memory will be allocated for the vector size. So that it will be displayed as a 0. So if you want to display how many maximum number of elements can able to store inside of that, you can call it as max underscore size. So that it returns the maximum how many number of elements we can able to store inside of the vector. So for example, so this is the value. So the based on the number of memory location it will be displayed. So I can't read how to read this. Actually, this now means totally this number of values can be able to store inside of this vector. Based on the memory, it will be allocated. So then after that, so if you want to identify how much memory capacity, if you want to know, because we know that how much memory capacity is allocated for store. So still now the memory capacity is 0. So capacity, so equal to, so I told that it is a member function, so that always we can able to access by using objects. So just I'm going to show the capacity. So we know that this is a capacity 0 because still now there is no memory will be allocated. Clear? Okay, now I'm going to means that I'm going to do some insert some value here. So if you want to insert, we need an iterator. Otherwise, otherwise we can go with the pushback or pop back. So I'm going with the pushback so that it will insert the list. For example, I'm going to push back the value. For example, I'm going to insert some value inside of the vector so that we dot pushback. And I'm going to insert some value. So we add a pushback. So these are the sum of the values are added now. So now I'm going to compare, but still I didn't display the value of means the value of means that the values inside of the vector. Just I'm going to display not necessary. I need only the size. So just you can say how much, what is the size of your values and the capacity. So that there are two capacity. So I mean there are two values will be stored. Okay, so now if you want to display, means I told that if you want to process any information, means if you want to access any value from this standard containers, we have to use the concept of iterators. So for iterators, by using iterators only we are going to able to access this like as an index. So for that we need to use these two functions to access it. So first of all, we need to create an iterator before going to access. So that if you want to create an iterator, you have to create what is the type of container you have, and along with we need to specify what is the template, then scope resolution operator, then we can say iterator, then you can give an object equal to, then you are going to define what is the starting address so that you can indicate by begin. So now just you can apply that follow. So now the initialization is over. So and also it will be not an end. So then just we are moving. But actually it works based on the address only, so that we are now going to print the value of this iterator if you want. So this is the way we are going to apply the concept of iterators. Even if you want, you can move this initialization part inside of this as a initialization part of your for loop. Now you have to check in. Sorry, there is a spelling mistake for the vectors. So see that the values will be displayed. Sorry, actually I didn't use slash in here, so that we thought that it is a 210. It is not a 210. It is a 10 and 12. So this is the way we need to use. We need to create an iterator. We know iteration is iterating the value, means you are going to accessing the values. So by using this logic, creating an iterator for your corresponding container, you are going to display. It's not only applicable for vector, even it's applicable for all sequence, all containers. Okay. So now the values are displayed like this. Even if you want, so see, these are the some of the functions are defined member as a member function, like a reserve, pop back, pop means we are going to delete it. Insert, if you want to insert any value, you can move that. Means initially we need to identify the index. Means we need to insert the value in its corresponding index and erase the particular value from the particular position. Or if we want to delete everything, we can use the function clear. But these are all member functions, so that we need to access by using object name. So the next one is a linked list. Actually, this is called dynamic. This is called array list, but actually it is a concept of array, but actually it is a dynamic array. The element is deleted, automatically the memory is deallocated. The next one is called as a list. So list is a actually in a vector the memory is allocated continuously, but actually in a list the memory is not be allocated in continuous manner. By using a pointer will be connected, so that compared to vector, so that the traversal of the element is very slow. So compared to the vector, because in a vector the value memory will be allocated on continuous manner. Okay, so these are the some of the member function is defined under this list. One is a print, it always to display what is a print value. So and if empty, which check whether the list is empty or not, and what is the current size of your list. And if you want to share, you can call the method is share. Okay, for example, if I want to create a list. Okay, now the vector is over. Now I want to create a list. So we know the list, it is a template, so that you can define what is the data type of the list you want, and you can define what is the initial value. Means you can create an object. So whenever you are going to define anything, always you have to define the corresponding header file also, it is a list. So now the list is over. I mean that the object is created. So by using these member functions, we can assign it. Actually, if you want to insert anything, I mean inside of the means if you want any element, if you want to insert anything, just you can use any of the method to insert. So for example, I can try to use the method assign. Function is assign. I can try it, whether I don't know whether this method is supported or not here. Yeah, so this method is supported. Actually, here the value means here we are going to assign the value for 3 times. For example, if we want to display, we know that we need to use iterator. So that here my class name is object list. I mean, so my container name is a list. The data type of the list is float. I want to use iterator, so that the scope resolution operator, iterator. Then you are going to define an object, and you are going to initialize the starting location, so that you can say it is a begin. It means that it always to point to the starting location of your list. So whenever you are going to move, I mean if you want to insert any value, also we need to use an iterator to move to the corresponding location, and we need to insert. So and then the value of this I not equal to that is an end. So end of your list. So my list name is L, so that it should not reach the end of the list, and then you can move it. So the iterator automatically moves based on the address. So, but actually I told that everything will be written in the form of address only, so that we need to display the values in that address. Just I'm going to display it. I'm going to run it and display what is the values we have. So I told that so assign is one of the method to assign a more duplicate value inside of it. So that means that here the values for this will be means is inserted 3 times from the static. Clear? So if you want to insert any element, so that you can use insert method. So that L dot insert. Clear? So we need to identify that the current location. So for example, I'm going to 0 and I'm going to say 98. I'm going to checking for error. I mean checking is there any error or not. So for this insert method, we need to identify the position of the iterator. So by using iterator, iterator. So then I'm going to create an object equal to, I need to point it to the starting of the list. So now the list is, I mean, the point, that means that the iterator is created, which is pointing to the start of the list. So by using this iterator object, now it will be pointed to the object. So by using this iterator only, just we are, means that we are going to insert. So if you want to insert in between, just I can show it. Just a minute. Actually, it's for iterators. So if you want to move to the iterator location, then we need to insert so that it won't work. So that we need to call the function at once. So now I'm going to compile. I think we have some problem in that insertion. Okay, I will show it on the next video. Okay, so this is the way we are going to insert the values in the list. And also we can use, if you want to know the size of the list, we can use the size. That means how many number of elements we have. If you want to shard the list of elements, you can use the sharding. Just a minute, I can try to insert it here. Yeah, so initially we don't have any element, so that it won't work. So that we must have at least one element, and then we can able to use like this. So means that you can assign any one of the value in the list. Initially you can assign, then you can insert any values in the list. So this is the way we have to use the function of insert. So these are the sum of the member function which is defined inside of list. So list to container. So initially we discuss about vector. It is based on array concepts. It is a dynamic array. So whenever the value inserted, the new value inserted, the memory is extended. Whenever the value will be, automatically the size of the array will be will be at the stop. So that we call as a dynamic array. And the next one is called a list. And third one is called the DQ, that is called double-ended queue. Same way, what are the function we discussed inside of the list, the same thing will be supported in double-ended queue also. The next one is called as an array. Actually, in an array, so here we can support for any data type. So that is the difference between normal array and this is array class. So that's all about that sequence container. So I told that there are different kind of containers we have. So initially I told that there are 3 components we have. One is a container, then basic algorithms, and the iterators. We know how to work on iterators for a different container, and we know what are the different methods and we have, and we know how to work on it, because everything we work on based on the address. And the container for storing the values either contiguous way, either or non-contiguous, and connect with the compines. Connect with the pointers. So here, so we know what are the methods. We know that we know how to access it. So by using from the container, we are going to access in. So that there are different kind of container. One is a sequence container. In that vector, means that the list of elements will be in continuous way. So either by using a continuous memory location or by using a pointer register connector. So that here we can use a vector, list, DQ, double-ended queue, and arrays. So these are the 4 ways. There's a sequence containers there. And third one is called container adapters. Actually, the container adapter means that it provides us a different way for storing. Means that interfaces for sequence container. So I think we have know about all these things about like a queue, stack and all, everything we were discussed in data structure itself. It implement the concept of data structure logics. And third one is called associate containers. Actually, in a above container, that is called for container adapters, the values will not be in sequence way. Means not in a shattered order, and also that means it takes the longest time to process it. Means that sequence takes more time to search it. But by using associative containers, we are going to access the values in log n processor time. It means that the element will be sorted once you are going to store in the value. So that there are different type of associative containers. We have one is a set, multi-set, map, and multi-map. So these are the different kind of associative containers we have. And same way we have unordered associative. So that normally this is will be used in C++ version 11. Unordered set, unordered multi-set, unordered map, and multi-map. So if you have just this is the basic things about standard template library. So that just to I suggest you you can use a Google search to understand the different syntax of the function, and you can try to use all those methods for a practice. Actually, here I am unable to showcase it everything, just for a sample. Just I am going to showcase only the few containers. Just you can I can list out what are the basic some basic methods we have. So by using these methods, so kindly to practice by using a Google search, just you can try to understand the syntax, and you can use all those containers for a practice. Thank you.